What is Tennis Wizard?
Devon, so first of all, thanks for asking. We are from Quantimatrix, and from our product line asset company PC360. This is our new venture, the tenniswizard.com. So Tennis Wizard is a mental health platform specifically designed for middle and high school student athletes. The challenge that the middle and high school student athletes have today is they already have a lot of pressure, right? So they have their academic pressure, they have the societal pressure, with the phones and the bullying and all that, as well as, people also have their pressure about, kind of who they are, like, kind of back more than what it was like 20 years back. On top of that, you add the student athlete part and the pressure, kind of exponentially grows, right? So now these kids are also looking at trying to get a college scholarship. Some of them may be trying to play pro, and then the journey is very lonely, right? So, team sports maybe not as much, but definitely individual sports like tennis and golf and others, it's very lonely. So they go to a dark space, and there's been many research. 70% of the middle and high school athletes, after putting a lot of time and money, they quit the sports, and the reason they quit is because they just cannot deal with it, the off-court and the on-court pressure. And there are ways they try to help, and I have as a coach in the past, I have worked with many players. I've seen this challenge with my own kids, who are playing tennis. And one would think, well, there's help, right? You can go to counselors. It's very difficult to find the right counselor at many times, because either the counselors really come from a clinical side, so they know the psyche of the middle school kids, but they may not understand the sport-specific dynamics. Tennis has completely different dynamics than maybe what's happening in a team sport, right? Things like that. They can obviously try to do self-help, Google search, and how that goes. They can go into a dark hole, right? I mean, the parents want to help, but a lot of times the parents don't have the background. They're very well intentioned, they just don't have the background, right? Similarly, the coaches, a lot of the coaches, they know a lot of stuff. They know that how they're, maybe some mental drills, especially when it comes to tennis, like what to do in between points and all that, but they don't know the other dynamics, right? Hey, I'm not feeling good about myself. I'm a teenage girl, I'm 16 years old, I'm really self-conscious, and that's kind of bothering me. So that balancing that, they don't really have a group, right? So we started looking at it, and we've been playing with this for a year, right? And then we kind of came up and we said, okay, you know what? A solution needs to be kind of fully encompassed, right? There should be an education piece that one can drive themselves. So, like reminders and, check-ins and things like that. To do is almost like a mental app, but then it also have to have access for a global pool of experts, right? The experts that can provide you guidance, right? On meditation, on nutrition, on counseling, things like that. But most importantly in that, right, it's not a one-off solution. The platform itself should have the integration. So, you're working with a counselor, you're doing something else, there should be that omni-channel communication that the platform should bring, so the so the athlete knows, the parents know, where they are, right? So that's kind of the basis of it. And then eventually we have plans to add AI components in that, as well as a shop for nutrition and things like that. And we're piloting this with tennis. We already have a phenomenal user interest. We've been keeping it under wraps, and eventually our goal is to take it away from tennis and broaden it, maybe rebrand it at that point and make it to all sports. But it'll be like, the content will be about 70% sports agnostic, 30% sports specific, along with the focal point of experts. And then the big part is there should be a community part, right? So the players should be able to go and almost like a forum, right? Discuss with, sometimes it's very hard when you can't really discuss this with a competitor that's from your sports or from your club, or playing the same, same region. But here you can communicate with somebody else, so those are some of the things that we're trying to bring: the socializing aspect, as well as the self-help education aspect, along with it, the access to the experts. And then there's a place where we're going, the EO, YPO forum has this concept called Gestalt, which is experience share. So everybody can come in, right? It can be experts, it can be parents, it can be kids. They come in, they share their experiences, right? So you learn. They can be anonymous if they want. They can just go be public. So we're just giving people a platform to express who they are, how they are, and to be their personal best.
Awesome.